Michael Holcomb Fox, correct?
Yep.
Okay, was born on February 15th, 1928 in Paris, Arkansas. Her siblings were Belle, Vivian, Sonny, and Pat, and her parents were George and Weeder? Weeder.
My grandpa always called her Weeda.
Weeda. Okay, so Weeder, but Weeder was her real name.
Weeder was her real name.
Wow. Weeder.
Who would have known? She was a Ramsey.
A teeter, Weeder.
A Weeder?
Weeder was a Ramsey.
That's a fun name, I love it. So Grandma grew up in the yellow flower fields of Paris, Arkansas. Our family, pre-Colby, was able to visit her home and meet her mama and daddy, George and Weeder Global. I am grateful for this memory of my grandma's childhood home and to have met her parents. I released the guilt and shame my 5-year-old self felt when Grandpa Goebel asked us not to catch the toads and leave them in the bucket overnight because they would die. I was 5, Mel was 3, and Andy was only 2, and we loved toads and we couldn't help ourselves. So, in the name of science, Grandpa Goebel, we lost a few toads and we're sorry. We released that tonight, right, Ann and Mel? Yes. Grandma Dorris was so much fun. He was very sad for all of us growing up, and Grandpa Lee was always game to go along with whatever her strong personality wanted. There wasn't a Christmas that we had that was not made more special by Grandma in her Santa suit. Quadruple wrapped newspaper print presents with new jammies or 501 blue jeans inside, or silver dollars with our birth dates hidden in popcorn for all of us to sift out. She always loved a Christmas celebration and made it special for her grandkids. My favorite Christmas was when we all got Hot Wheels from Santa and rode them down our driveway and raced back up again and again and again for hours at our real house. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's when she was on top of the house.
And she got on top of the house in her Santa
Picture of
stuff
her going down the chimney.
to make sure that we all knew Santa was alive and well, right? Because he is, correct?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we do know that.
And she had a fight with her 5th grade teacher that there wasn't really a Santa Claus.
And there is, because Grandma Doris helped us know that. I have many fond memories of my grandmother when I was little. One of the coolest things she taught me was to spit off a bridge. I know this is a cool one. We gotta try this with you if you haven't tried it yet. Okay? We would spit on one side of the bridge. We'd be here, and then we'd run over to the other side of the bridge and see if we could find that same spit come out on the other side. And we would do this for hours. And she loved it, and we loved it. And it's something that I still remember of her at age 50. And the silliness that she would always bring to her visits was just something that I always remember. That's one of my favorite memories with her. I also remember all the berry picking that we did in the woods for blackberries, or at farms for strawberries or marionberries. Grandma always loved to pick blackberries. Grandma said I was #1 to pick berries with because I did not eat them as I picked them. They would be saved, and then we could make pies or jam, right?
No, always.
And I always saved them because I always wanted to make those things. Blackberry pies were our favorite. And so when Colby and Fenno pick berries, Finn, and you send them to all of us, it makes me think of Grandma, and I know that her spirit is with us. It makes me very happy. So thank you. I love it. It's okay. You can eat them however you want. Grandma loves it. She loved to play sports and was quite a basketball player in her day. She played with the boys as they did not have sports teams yet for girls. There was not a sport she did not enjoy and made it to as many games of ours as she could. I love that she was able to make it to her grandson, her great-grandson Cole's games too, and we have some pictures in our slideshow today in memory of her continued enjoyment of a good game. Mel and I talk about how Grandma had it all figured out all along. She loved nature and being in it with all of her senses, what she could see, what she could smell, what she could taste, and what she could hear, and what she could touch. I sit and listen to the birds outside my house with David and think of her every morning. My favorite mornings today are spent watching the sunrise over the ocean, listening to the birds, having coffee, and eating fruit and toast with peanut butter. I feel her essence with me every morning here on Walker. And when I look down at my wrist and see her written word, this is her writing, Fenno, colored there, of agape, which she signed and lived by. She signed this on all of her letters, and she loved it and lived by it. I know that her infinite spirit lives on in all of us. We miss your physical presence here on earth, Graham, but are so grateful for all the love you gave so unconditionally while you graced us with your presence here on earth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Agape Unapa. All right.
Thanks.
Good job.
I'm
Good
good.
start. Oh, thank you.
Good job, Val.
Ah. Hi, Mom. Okay.
Well, that was really hard to talk about.
No, yeah.
Jeez.
We
One or
could-
two.
Pretty
no,
much
we
said it
still
all.
touch any of that. for
One or
sure.
two memories.
But most of it is, I remember all of that stuff with grandma, the special times. We always seemed to be celebrating for no matter what. It was somebody's birthday or Christmas or just whatever it was. She made it ultra special by hiding silver dollars inside a full thing of popcorn, and you had to dig through it to get the silver dollars, and you had to find them all. And they always had your birth date on them. There was your birth year. So she always thought, there was always so much thought into everything she did. And all of that stuff is what we try to do with our kids still. But the neatest thing is still her simplicity. It was so simple, and she was so happy. It's just how
But she was-
simple. I mean, peanut butter and toast and coffee was all she needed for breakfast. And her family and her. She loved her backyard. We loved her backyard because she loved her backyard. And she even did just things there that we were so happy with. A tire swing, an inner tube with the stick. And we were the happiest kids on the planet to be up there. So, those were the things I remember most. But her simplicity of not needing anything out of life besides just the necessities. She didn't need a fancy house. She didn't need a fancy car. She didn't care about any of that stuff. And that's something I hope our kids will grow to understand, is that you don't have to keep up with the Joneses to be happy. And she was truly happy.
I don't have a lot to say. I was blessed that I had the opportunity to know her. The few times I did get to see her, I just didn't want to forget anything. Grandma Dorris was a remarkable person with the kindest heart, and I enjoyed her company immensely. We miss her dearly, and I just thought of a few simple words that I think of when I think of her. So her smile, laugh, her wit, her jokes. She was a jokester. Her glasses, her hats, and then just her love. Those are the things that I remember about Grandma Dorris.
I'm just a kid, so I don't really remember a lot about her. And I like the big tall trees in her backyard. I like the name of her toilet.
What was it?
Foxhole.
The foxhole.
I also like how she gave us cool decorated stuff to make for a house. And I like her backyard too. And I like her hats. And I like that she had a sense of humor too.
Great, Cameron.
Oh, sweet.
Beautiful, buddy.
I will tell you, she had a great time with you feeding Sam when he was a puppy. She saw you feeding and she thought it was okay, so she started feeding.
So that's.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the other way around. Grandma started.
What I liked how she always had puzzles that were like always made, like glued together, and they're like on the wall. And I like her.
Take a breath. Breathing in. It's okay, bud.
It's okay, bud.
Aw. Yeah. Go ahead and have a seat, buddy. It's okay.
She loves you too, Pat.
She loved you very much.
I'm very grateful that both of you kids got me.
Yeah, me too.
That was something I'm very grateful for.
Okay, there, we'll come back to you if you're up for it, okay, buddy? It's okay. Cole, you wanna go, bud?
Yeah. Do I need to stand up?
No, you don't have to do anything you want. Nope, you're good.
I remember just the few pictures, if you go back to simplicity, that were on her wall of her family. Those few pictures were all the pictures she needed that represented how much she loved us all. It was just a few right on that hallway, and that was all she needed. She looked at them every day, and Ed or Sherry would update them as we got older, so she could be present with us because we weren't around all that much. As we got older, I remember Grandma was always present, and that's why she was so simple. She knew how to be present and live in the moment, and if you weren't doing anything in that house, she put you to work, and that's how she stayed present.
It's true.
So that backyard stayed so nice because she put anyone that was around to work. If that's why her friends stopped coming over, she tried to put her own friends to work. My favorite thing to do with Grandma was to play pinochle
And she's like,
and cheat. And cheat. It was the only game that I was allowed to cheat in all the time because Grandma said I could. So we won a lot of pinochle games because Grandma would cheat.
That's
to the very end.
hilarious.
Even if she got caught, she would cheat to the last run.
That's so funny.
Kenna only got to meet her twice, but she was very happy that she got to meet Finno before she left.
true.
Yeah, until she decided it was time to go then. And I didn't get to do any of the berry picking and any of that stuff, but I did get the presents. Be quiet, I'm talking. Yeah, thanks. I got presents because the coins were hard to find. I got presents that were wrapped over and over and over again with newspaper and tape for years because I couldn't find my birth coins. The years started to get harder and harder to get. I know she hated to travel, so we spent a lot of time going to her. We didn't take a lot of pictures, so I'm glad Allison forced her to take those because when I was there, she refused over and over again. And so I didn't force that with her, and that's just who she was. She was ornery, she was herself, and she didn't care. And I don't know how Allison got all those photos with herself and Grandma.
That was their first grandkid, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe that was
I don't
it.
know. She let me though.
I probably fought with her more than any other kid. We would argue because I was so young and she was so old, so we got in a lot of kid arguments, and I think she actually enjoyed it, which is why she did it. It was fun for her. But those are all the things I remember about Grandma, and yeah, I think about her all the time.
Aw, thanks, Cole.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Graham, there, do you want to come back to you or no? Okay, no worries, buddy.
Well, my very favorite memory of her, I mean, I got tons of them, but she treated me like I was her daughter, and she was my mom. And when I came with Ed, she was pretty religious. She was.
Mm-hmm.
But she allowed Ed and I to sleep in her bed. When we
Ah,
got there, I thought, oh, you're kidding me? Anyway, we did, and we always did when we got there. And she was, well, she knew we were gonna be together forever because she saw that in both of us. We're very happy about it, you know. We tried to have her at our house every Christmas. We'd go up and get her and bring her down and take her back and keep her for about a week. And she had a good time at our house. We had a good time. So she loved being there, and she loved when everybody else came to our house too. She could see everybody, you know.
special.
It was so nice.
Was
Because
special.
Allison was always there too, you know, so, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna miss her. I miss her a lot. I miss her a lot.
Thanks, Graham.
Well, Mom loved family. She loved her parents, she loved Diane and I, and she loved all of you. All of you. Past, present, and future. And she liked to live in the moment. And she enjoyed every second. And whoever's birthday it wasn't on that day, it was when we all got together. And she lived by that rule. We'll celebrate when we all get together to do it. And she was tough. I knew that. I was 3 years old, and we got my father out with another woman. We went in, she took a bottle and knocked him on the head. And we took his keys, and she'd never driven the car before, and we drove it up out of town. And finally came back to my dad's brother, which was his older brother, and we stayed, put the car in the garage, and we stayed with him to hide from Ralph. And then she married my dad, Leon Fox, and she married him because his brother and sister worked at the same hospital as my mom did. And he would see her carry me home every night after work. And so he asked her one time if he could carry me home for her, and he did.
Aww.
And that's how she met your Grandpa Lee.
Did you?
Know that? No.
And he came by, she said, he's gonna come by and we're gonna let him come in. She came by and knocked on the door and I wouldn't let him in. So he reached in his pocket and brought out a silver dollar and he said, would you let me come in if I give you the silver dollar? And he was my friend ever since.
Aw, that's sweet,
So,
Dad.
That's the way it started. But it wasn't an easy life for all of us, but she always made the best of it. Our first house that we ever owned was on Albertus, California, across from Dick and Vivian. And then he got in, he actually, at that time, he was working 2 jobs to pay for that house, badly.
Aw.
And he was good. And he was a Marine, your great grandpa, and Mom loved him. He was a heavy equipment operator, and he couldn't find enough work in California to keep us going. And this was before we bought the house. So we moved back to Wyoming, which is his hometown, where he came from, and worked in heavy equipment. And Mom and I traveled in a trailer all around Wyoming for 2 years before we moved back to California and bought a house. And it was a tough life, but we made it work, and it was his life, and she made it work. And she always seems to make everything work out the best she can. And she loved Sherry, she loved all of you, and she always loved visiting. And when she used to be young, she would go back and visit her mom. She would fly back, and believe it or not, she would fly back on the airlines in her Santa Claus suit. No matter whether it was wintertime, summertime, anytime.
I forgot
and she
that.
had the most fun of anybody in the whole airport because Santa Claus was in town. And she talked to the little kids, and she would hug them, and they would just love being with her. And she would go back every year.
That's
when
right.
we would go back to Arkansas in her Santa Claus suit. And she loved it, and she liked all of the attention she got for doing that. And the reason the kids thought Santa Claus was real is because of her. She put Santa Claus in their brain from the day we went to the day she died. She was Santa Claus. So I love her. I know she's up there watching down and happy that we're celebrating her life and not sad about it. And don't be sad, because she's happy.
She's happy.
She was a happy girl.
She's a happy
And I
girl.
don't know if you saw the last flick that Leanne sent us of Grandma. When she was awake, she stuck her tongue out.
Yeah.
That was her last goodbye to you, was sticking her tongue out to say goodbye. The next picture was her and Rex. And it was hard for me because it was COVID and I couldn't see her. I threatened Leanne and I was coming down and she begged me not to. Because at that time, we didn't know what COVID was and what was going on. But I wasn't afraid of Mom getting COVID, and I wasn't afraid of me getting COVID from Mom. But it was one of the hardest things that I ever did. Didn't have to be there when Mom said goodbye. And I love
We love you,
you.
Dad.
Honestly, Dad.
We love you, Dad. There, you want to say anything or you good, buddy? Okay, I have Aunt Mel's Aunt Mel's stuff to read. Do you want a video? Are you okay, sweetie? You sure? I love you. Can I kiss you? I love you, sweetheart. You're awfully sweet.
Awfully sweet. Okay, last but not least, we got Aunt Mel's words. I wish everyone could have met Graham. She was awfully sweet and fun and happy.
You would have been an apple of her eye, David. She would have liked you.
You might have been a favorite also.
And Val, you know you were. Anybody that made family happy, she was happy.
Okay, this is from Mel. My relationship with Grandma Dorris Jean Fox was always full of love. She was an incredible grandma who saw the best in everyone, but held them accountable for being true to themselves and others. Some didn't always like it, but learned to know she didn't take any crap. As a kid, I remember her home, which was our playground, enchiladas at Christmas, Susan B. Anthony coins and bowls of popcorn, and Santa delivering toys through a chimney with boobs. Later in life, I came to learn much deeper about her life, her struggles, what she overcame, and how she never felt a victim to any of it. It's just the way it was, she would say. The Lord didn't give her anything she couldn't take. She was not poor, she was not a single mom, she was not a battered wife, and she was not a widow. She was a survivor. She knew how to surrender to her path, to life, to experience all that the Lord had in store for her. I respect her courage, her choice to never remarry, her love of stopping 10 times on any road trip to enjoy scenery, smell the flowers, touch the snow, take pictures, eat toast with her coffee, and look out the window each morning to care for her neighbors and to care for kids even when their parents couldn't afford to pay her. She was present, kind, always of service, always giving others everything she had to others. And I thank her for her light and all of the lessons and blessings she taught me in life. Agape, sweet Granny Dorris. That's beautiful, Mel.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you,
Anybody have
everybody.
anything else? Are we good? Okay. So in Hawaii, I think it's nice to release, your prayer for Grandma, release your love for Grandma into the ocean. And so we're gonna grab, each of us get one gardenia. We're gonna take it out. David did a little test for us to see where the tide would take it. So we're gonna go all along the fence and we're gonna release our gardenia into the ocean, and you can say a little prayer with it if you'd like. But we're gonna go ahead and do that for Grandma now. And so we're gonna head out here. Go ahead and grab a white flower. Fenno, I'll help you, buddy. Let's grab a white, come grab a white flower, bud. And then we're gonna go out and we're going to say a little prayer and release it into the ocean for Grandma. The white ones. We're gonna do the white gardenias. You want that one? Color? Yeah. Randy. Okay. You wanna have one too, honey? Here's one.
Gracias.
Got one there. Oh, there. You want me to finish? No? You okay? Okay, honey. Got it? I love you, sweetheart. It's okay. If you're sad, you can be sad, buddy. Just feel it, right? Just feel it.
It's all right to be sad.
Smells so good, doesn't it?
Thank you, Alan.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Dad. We got one for Mel and Joe too there. Okay, so this is for Mel and Joe too. You coming? You want me to do it? You want me to do it? You can let it go. Want me to do yours? Okay. Sorry. It's okay, buddy.
Pass that on.
Make your grandpa happy to get to say goodbye to him, right? Okay, do y'all want to do it together or want to do them as you want? Say our prayer and let him go. You guys do you. Say your prayer.
We're all been with her. Melanie, this one's for you.
It's yours there.
Joe, I'm sorry you're going to deep water.
It's a swim though.
Grandma,